everyone. Welcome to Big Sister Advice. So, today I want to talk about a situation that happened as I was walking my dog. This happened, I want to say, a little less than a week ago. We go for our walks on this kind of like off trail. It's gravel, overgrown grass. And whenever I go for walks, go for hikes, I love to build balancing rocks, little balancing towers. And normally when I build them, I start just regular, smallest to largest, and and walk away all proud of myself. And on this particular day, as I was walking the dog, and as I got this urge to build my tower, I just reflected very quickly on how my method of doing it. I reflected on my method of execution, and all of a sudden, I just kept hearing, find the balance where there's thought to be none. Find the balance in the most unexpected of places. And as I'm hearing that, and as I was rethinking my method, the method to my madness, I start looking around and I start grabbing all of these other different shaped rocks, different sizes, different weights, and I just decide I'm going to make this intricate balancing rock. And something I had continued to tell myself, which I tell myself every single day, is I am in balance. I am in flow. I am always in flow with source. I am always in flow with the universe. And so I start building my tower, my balancing rocks. And it goes up very quickly. I was able to, however I did it, I just finagled everything and it went up so quickly. And I was very surprised and I was very proud of myself because here I am, I'm mix matching. I did some balancing. And then I take a picture because we need to document everything. I take a picture of it. And then as I'm staring at it, I just decide I could put one more. I can put one more. I can put one more little rock right on top. So I do. I pick one up and I stare at the tower and I just place this rock right on top of it. And it just falls. And I just stared at it. Like, damn it. And then as quickly as I was semi frustrated, I really wasn't even that frustrated just because of how quickly I built it. And I just thought to myself immediately, well, okay, well, you know what? I can rebuild it. I can quickly rebuild this and then we can go on our way. And then as I thought that to myself, I was then told that yes, you must rebuild it. You can't just walk away. Because if you crumble, if you fall apart, you can't just leave it. You can't just leave the pieces. You can't stay broken. You need to rebuild. You need to rebuild yourself. You need to rebuild. And I'm just like, damn, this just got so deep. This just got so deep. I was building a balancing rock. And now here I am getting downloads about this this being an analogy for life. And as quickly as I laughed about that, it came full circle that no, it's true. It really is true that this happens to all of us. It feels so easy to just get to a certain point or to be where we are, and then we fall apart and then we have to rebuild. And so now here I am, I'm rebuilding. And this time it took so much longer. I'm trying to remember how the pieces were, how the rocks were, how I had the weight distributed and everything. And it was not working. It was not working the same way. So it was taking me so much longer. And as I'm doing it, I did not once had the thought of like, forget this. I'm just going to walk away. I'm just going to leave it. And that did not even pass my mind. It was, no, I'm going to do this. I just did it so easily. Like, why is this taking me so long? And as I was having that thought, it just kept coming to me of, it's not easy. It's not easy to rebuild after you've fallen. It's not easy to rebuild after you've crumbled. And you're never going to be able to put the pieces back where they were. Mic drop. You are never going to be able to put the pieces back where they were. You can only pick up from where you left off and maneuver and finagle everything to meet your new needs, to meet where you're at now and rebuild. And so as I continued to do that, and then I started trying to I kept telling myself I'm in balance, I'm in flow, but then it became almost like a forced feeling of being in balance and in flow. And I realized as I was doing that and telling myself the that I was trying to force the rocks. And that wasn't working because now I'm trying to force it. I'm not balanced. I'm not in flow. And as I'm forcing it, there were times where the bottom rock or whichever rock it was that I had left off on, and I tried to balance the next one, and then the ones below it were losing their footing. They were losing their balance, and I just would dismiss it. And I'm like, no, I'm going to make this work. And every time I'm trying to build on a shaking foundation, it falls. So after several attempts and after a little bit of time, I finally rebuild the second tower. I take my phone out again and I take a picture of the tower. And I'm just staring at it again. I can get one more. I can get one more rock on top of this. And so I go and I find a tinier one than the first one I tried to place on top. And I pick it up and I go and I just finagle it just so, and I pop it down, and everything crumbled again. And I just stared at it and I was like, but I could put one more. I only needed one more. And then immediately was told, no, you didn't. You don't need one more. You were in balance. In balance, not imbalanced. You were in balance. You were in flow. And you added that pressure of just one more, of just one more. And that threw you off when you knew you were already at peace. So, again, I looked at the pile and I said, well, I can't walk away yet. I need to rebuild this again. I need to rebuild it because when we crumble and we fall, we rebuild. So I sit there and I start doing it again. And my dog's sitting under a tree, just watching me. Why is my mom playing with rocks? And I start rebuilding the tower for the third time. And now this third time took even longer, even longer. And the whole time, I just keep repeating to myself, I am in balance, I am in flow. And again, I could not put the pieces back the way they were. I could not remember the first two times of how that they were. And even in looking at the picture, I couldn't quite tell the angle of which I balanced these rocks. And when I tell you it was like small to large to small to massive, like it was just so intricate. So I continue trying to rebuild it, and I finally did it after an even longer time than it took the second time. I rebuilt it, and not only did I rebuild it, it was better than it was the first two times. It was cooler, it was more dynamic, and it was just so balanced. And with this third time, I had this deep feeling of calm, of serenity, and of admiration for myself. And I think because I didn't give up after the first two fell, and then the second time when it took forever to build it, and now the third time it took even longer, and it was just, I could have just walked away and be like, fuck this, these are just a pile of rocks. But I didn't. And I stayed true to the mission. I stayed true to what I was trying to do. I stayed true to myself and what I had set out to do. And I'm staring at this, and again, I take out my phone, take a picture, and I was blown away. I was truthfully blown away. And then again, I took a step back, and as quickly as I had the thought this time, it left of, but I can add one more. And then immediately was like, no, we don't need to. You don't need to. You don't need to add anything else. This is perfect and this is balanced. You are perfect and you are balanced. You are imperfectly perfect and you are balanced. You don't need to add anything else. And I don't mean in terms of building character, in building yourself for the better. I mean, you don't need to add anything else to your plate. You don't need to add any more weight. Because once you do that, once you're in balance and you are trying to just keep producing, keep adding, whether it's for outside validation, internal validation, no matter who or what it's for, anything that's going to completely throw you off balance, throw you out of flow, is not necessary, does not need to be added. And I just stared at this third tower, this third bouncing rock, and felt the completion, and then just walked away and continued with our little trek. And I just kept reflecting on how deep that whole thing went, where I was just trying to just have a moment, and then that moment turned into a whole life lesson that I never expected, anticipated, or asked for. But it was something that I needed, and I didn't even know that I needed. And that's on trusting and having faith within source, within universe, within God, whoever it is that you believe in. And that's on being present in the present moment, because building those brings me to the present moment. I have a very hard time doing that. I'm always in my head. I'm always on the go. I'm trying to just figure everything else out. I'm trying to figure my life out. And it's so difficult for me to remove myself from that and to just stay in the present moment. And in creating these, that's what I'm able to do, which is why I love doing it so much. And then just the whole process of this time of doing it brought a whole different form of presence to me and appreciation for the present moment. And that's why I'm sharing this, because I hope that this can help someone down the line, even just one person, a cat, a dog, I don't care, an animal, a bird. That's why I shared it. And that's why I'm going to be sharing many other things. But that is my balancing rock. And I will forever try to find balance in the places where it's least expected. Because that is where the magic happens. Just saying. So, I hope you guys have a beautiful day, a beautiful night, whatever it is. And I'll see you guys again soon. Don't forget to like, subscribe, hit notifications, share, any of that. I'll see you next time. Thanks for hanging out with Big Sister Advice. Ta-ta.